What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages? This is your boy Kano, the brutally honest gamer, and welcome to the gamer section interviews where we interview game devs, Lions, Tigers, Bears, oh my. So, without further ado, we're going to give this introduction. This is an upcoming development studio. It's it's fire. You know what I'm saying? It's words can't even describe of the stuff that I've seen behind the scenes of these upcoming games. So, man, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give me a little introduction.
Hi, my name is Courtland Tyler. I'm currently the CEO of Unfocused Entertainment Production Studios. We are now working on our first game called The Oracle.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, man, let's go ahead and dive right into these questions because I'm about to pick your brain today. Okay, I'm about to pick your brain.
Let's do
All
it.
right. All right. So the first question is, man, like, when did your love for gaming actually started?
Man, I've been an avid gamer for a real long time, a real long time. I didn't really get into it until a couple years back in college, when my professor, my communications teacher, got me into it. When I started writing, she was like, your story is really good. You should actually do something with that. And at the time, I really wasn't thinking about it. I was like, nah. You hear people talking about how good your stuff is, and you really don't believe in yourself at the time. And over the course of time, I started writing games, and then people was wondering like, "Oh, well, what are you writing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm thinking about writing video games
Mm,
because
facts. Mm,
I really like the creative process of writing something unique and different." And for the longest time, it took me to put myself out there. It took a while. I'm not even gonna lie, it took a while because I
mm,
really wasn't taking my teacher very serious about it until she like pulled me aside my last time in class with her, and she was like, "Look, I'm gonna
right.
be upfront with you." I was like, "Okay," I'm thinking I'm failing the class or something, thinking something
Mm-hmm,
horrible. She was like, "I deal with a whole bunch of college students day in and day out, day in and day out.
right.
You have the potential to do something great, to be great, and start your own company."
Mm-hmm,
And that kind
mm,
of hit me hard. Like, what? Like, really? Like, hold on. Okay, maybe I am going about this wrong. Maybe I should try and put myself out there. And she was the one that got me started putting my stuff out there.
right.
And I started sharing it with friends, and friends was like, "Dude, that game would be dope.
Mm-hmm,
You should make that." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not even a game dev. I'm just a writer at this point." So then I started sharing it on Facebook, and then drew some interest through there, and people started to actually get excited for what I was doing. And then the rest was history. I just put a small team together, and we started working on different games from there. Haven't published any yet because the ups and downs of game devs pretty hard, especially just starting out.
yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Like, due to the pandemic and stuff like that, is kind of tougher because you're working remotely at home. So, yeah, I definitely understand that, man, for sure. But speaking of your love for gaming and stuff like that, like, what was like the first console and first game that you ever like played when you started gaming?
That would be PlayStation 1. I would play Spyro and Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, classics, classics,
Exactly.
for sure, for sure. Like, so let's go ahead and talk about your like studio, Unfocused Entertainment and Studio. Like, how did the studio come about?
Well, when I had first started, like I was saying, I know I liked video games and I'm a big avid anime person too. So
Mm-hmm.
at the time, I was like, well, why don't I just make a hybrid studio and do both? You don't see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of companies doing that. Nobody's out there making games and animation series at the same time. So I
Right,
was like, you know what? I believe in my abilities to write. I just got to get people behind me that understand it and excited for it too.
right.
So the same thing I did with the gaming side, I did with the anime side and started putting that out there. And I
Mm-hmm.
got praise from the anime section, like, when's this dropping? And I didn't even think it was going to be like something that exciting for people to look at. The same with the game, but it's funny how things work out. You're like, oh man, I'm not that good. You down yourself, and then you finally put yourself out there, and people are like, it's fire, dude, drop that. And I'm like, oh, giving me a confident boost. Like, okay, I'm doing something right now. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Dope, dope, man. That's very interesting, man. But what about the team? Like, how did you and your team come together?
Now that's the crazy part. So what I did is I joined a couple gaming dev groups, And in the beginning, it was kind of hard because everybody's like, "Oh, you're just an idea guy, this, that, and the third. You ain't bringing
Mm-hmm.
anything to the table." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me show you my work."
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped HZM was the game I was writing and working on at the time. So I dropped that in the group, and
Right.
then people started to actually get excited for it. Like even game devs, they're like, "Okay, I could see your idea." So
Mm-hmm.
then from there, I had to drop an NDA, of course, so nobody steals the name and all that. And people just hopped aboard from there. Like they're like, "Oh, I want to work on this game. I want this game to actually succeed. I want this, that, and the third." And then from there, from the people working with me,
Mm-hmm.
I started building us a fan base.
Right.
And the fan base was so excited. They're like, "Hey, when you dropping this? Hey, when can we
Mm-hmm.
get this?" And then I'm starting to think to myself, they're like, "How much you gonna, charge?" And I'm not even in the process of thinking like, "Whoa, like how much am I gonna charge for this game?" And then I came to a realization. I'm like, well, at the time it's 30 of us. I'm like, so we're not looking to be a AAA studio, of course, because we ain't got millions of dollars. So I was like,
Yeah.
we need to be.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. It's coming.
Exactly. I was like, we're not a AAA studio yet. So the way I look at it as instead of an A studio, let's be a B studio with A graphics
Mm-hmm.
and sell the game for at least 30, $40.
Yeah.
Hit that middle price point. That way we're not shooting right out the gate too high and right out the gate too low because we're going to build all of Times Square, all of New York City is what we're thinking.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, yeah, that would be pretty fire. Different sections will have different various infected stuff of that nature. And I'm like, yeah. So we got off and running on that, started posting that out there. Investors started to get interested and hit me up like, hey, what are you guys doing? This looks interesting. And then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, right now, we're working towards a demo and then we're looking towards a trailer so we can get
Mm-hmm.
some hype around it and then
Right.
hopefully get
Right.
funding for it.
Yeah, because what you showed me in the past about this upcoming project, like I even became a fan of this game and was asking about like when is this game coming out because it was just so amazing by like how this game was put together. But to the studio, the question about the studio, okay, like
hmm
what for the people that wants to know about this studio, like what is the key focus behind the studio? Meaning like with anime and the type of games that y'all want to make with this studio. Like, what is the focus of what y'all trying to do with the in establishing this studios?
So my niche that I told the team, and we talk about this all the time during team meetings, is being creative, unique, and different, standing
Mm-hmm.
out.
Right.
So every game I make with them, I want them to actually, I don't want to be a boss that's like, you got to do it this way because I said so. I want to be like, hey, what you guys think about this? If we could put
Mm-hmm.
a spin on it, let me hear your ideas. So they're
Mm-hmm.
just as involved as me, even though I'm the one writing the characters and the concepts and
Mm-hmm.
backstories and all that. Like, I wanted to see what you guys could put together too. Like, don't be afraid to speak out. And I think
Right.
that's where a lot of indie people fall short because it's all one way and it's the man up top. And I've
Mm-hmm.
heard a couple horror stories from my team. They're like, dude, I work for this one guy and it was just horrendous. I had to do stuff like 3, 4 times, redo it, and then he would change his mind last minute. And I'm
Right.
like, no, I'm like, we're gonna sit down, let's have this discussion. You're gonna know what I want at the end of it. Me and you gonna
Mm-hmm.
be on cooler terms because you're like, all right, cool. Courtland wants this. He's gonna promote that. So now you're getting looked at on top of that, as well as the studio. So everybody's in a win-win-win situation. And as far as the anime, I want to bring to life various different stories, like stuff that people hasn't really seen about
Mm-hmm.
or actually know about. Like for instance, the one I'm working on right now.
Okay.
My pitch for that one is my MC, which is my main character. He's actually going to end up living a double life because he's going to be a college student, but he's also going to try and figure out who actually killed his brother in the process and learn stuff
Hmm.
he didn't even know about his brother, like stuff that
Wow.
happened. Yeah, because his brother gets killed in the very first episode, but he gets this feeling, how something's wrong.
Yeah, like
You
when you
like
feel like yeah, like you feel like when you feel like something's like not right in the midst of what's going
exactly,
on. Right. Okay.
exactly. So it's his first day of college and all that. So he's already feeling like, hey, something's off. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I feeling like this? And he like thinks because he has a dream about. Well, I can't tell you the dream, but he has a dream of a situation that happens,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to catch a lot of people off guard in the very first episode. Where they're like, "Wait, what? What was that?"
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, yeah,
as he progresses, he starts to actually see that his brother wasn't who he thought he was, even though he looks up to his brother, because his
hmm,
brother in his eyes had this persona that I'm always here to help you. I'm gonna constantly be here to help you. You
right.
know, you're my
Hmm.
younger brother. I need to take care of you. So he's like, for sure. You know, he ain't thinking like, oh, my brother's out there kingpin, and he actually got his own business. You know, like what? What's this? What's this other life my brother was living that I didn't know about?
Right. Whoa, whoa. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. What you just said right there, I'm ready to watch this anime cartoon, man. You feel me? Because it adds a mix of, it's a cartoon, it's anime, but it also have that mixture of reality because stuff like this actually goes on in reality. So
Exactly.
this is dope, man. Like when is it coming out?
Well, right now I'm slowly trying to rebuild it because I think I told you I had two anime teams behind me. The first one fell through. The second one, after I started dropping TK, a lot of different indie networks was reaching out to me for it. And
Hmm.
luckily, I didn't sign anything because the second team I got just fell apart too. And the guys I had, Grindworks that wanted to work with me, and Anime and Smoke that wanted to work with me. But at the time, I'm like, I don't want to sign no contracts because I want to at least get a trailer and stuff out there to get people,
Right.
feedback so they can actually see when they sign me, like, hey, this is what we're capable of.
Hmm.
And it came down to my team just slowly just started to disintegrate and fall off. And the guy that worked at Grindworks, he wanted to work with me a lot. He was looking to get commercial deals, get it on TV. He knows a couple people that actually could help me with that. And he was like,
Right.
dude, all I need is a trailer or a demo of your show reel to show, and we can take it from there. And he was in a couple of our meetings, and he was like, listen, I don't know if you guys want to get paid. I don't know if you guys want to do this for real. But he's like,
Hmm.
Courtland's busting his ass right now, to get this show moving, and you guys are just lagging behind.
Right.
And it came to the point to where me and him, we had a closed door talk, and he was like, listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up, you're hungry. I see it. I know it. I
Hmm.
see it. I can sense it. You're writing. You're getting stuff done. He's like, but your team you currently got right now,
Hmm.
they don't want it. They just don't want it.
Hmm.
And it's not their
Wow.
fault because a lot of people say they want it until they realize, oh crap, opportunity's knocking, and they ain't
Hmm.
ready to answer the door. I was just
Well,
like, mm-hmm.
Well, the way I look at it is like, okay, if an individual don't want to work right now and they see you on the ground and you make success of the situation, then they start to see your success and they want to start working, then you have to leave them behind. So that's the kind of the way I look at it, though, with the
Right, right.
situation.
So I just had to drop. I dropped all of them because even the guy at Anime and Smoke said the same thing. He was
Hmm.
like, "Dude," he was like, "I can't put you on my streaming network because I ain't got nothing to showcase for your show to stream." And I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, I know what you mean." I was like, "See, that's why I didn't want to sign, no contracts with you guys because I didn't want to disappoint either."
Bringing the best of the
But I
best.
get what.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't want
Yeah.
to disappoint, so I'm like, let me just go ahead and just restart it a third time now.
Okay, well, I see it progressing. It's going to progress smoothly. You're going to have the right people behind you. Then, when the opportunity perceives itself, I already know you're going to take the best offer that's presented to you. So, I got to give kudos to you. Congratulations on that situation. It's looking like it's a future in that area, also, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very excited. I can't even lie. I'm excited to drop the anime. I'm gonna be more excited once we get to that area to where we can actually start selling merchandise and clothing and stuff too.
Well, coming soon on TV, internet, movie theaters, all that. I can see that in the future, man. Early congratulations is in order for that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yeah,
For
thank you,
sure, for
thank you.
sure. Oh man, no problem, man. So let's get back to this games, man. Let's talk some about some more of these games of your upcoming projects on the gaming side. You feel me?
Of course, of
So
course.
already. So now to the people that may not know, what I'm saying, I knew Courtland Tyler for a while, and he showed me some of the project that he has on hold right now. But it is still in the process of being worked on, but it's on hold at the same time. But it's called HZN. It's a first person shooter with zombies in the whole nine. He was talking about it, explaining it a little bit more. But Let me ask you this question: what is HZN? What is the meaning behind the name of the game HZN? From what I
So
see.
HCN stands for Hopeless Nights.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we iterated this, keep in mind this is before the pandemic,
Right.
way before the pandemic when we were working on this. So this game was in process for 2 years before the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a virus that was going around that was
Mm-hmm.
actually a cure that started off.
Right.
So what ends up happening is elderly people, people who are sick, people who are actually on the verge of dying, cancer, stuff of that.
Mm-hmm.
The FDA created a serum that actually helps them fight off these type of diseases.
Right.
What ends up happening though, after a while, because it's working too good, the government shuts it down
Mm-hmm.
because big pharmaceuticals are going out of business.
Hmm.
So since they're going out of business, the government likes their money, so they're like, nah, let's cut this right now. Let's stop this drug. It's working too good.
Right. Right.
And in the process of that, the drug itself or the serum itself starts combining with the antibodies of those type of diseases and morphing us humans into brain dead zombies.
Hmm. That's very interesting. So it has a parallel effect of what's going on, kind of, sort of now in reality, but not really. But
Mm-hmm.
this is very interesting about the concept of this actual game. So we do know what it's a first person shooter that y'all have on hold, but it's still having ideas behind being worked on. So tell us about the aspects behind the idea of it being a first person shooter and not any other genre of gaming.
We wanted to give you that horror effect. So, say for instance, you walk into a room, right? That's pitch black. You got to turn on your flashlight. Something comes
Mm-hmm.
out the corner and bum rushes you. You know that oh shit type of feeling where you're like, oh, I can't even get up. I got my control. I didn't even come in there. Or and then something wall because it's a wall and grabs you by your neck and it shrieks in
Mm-hmm.
front of you and throws you on the ground like, oh crap, what the heck was that? And then it just walks off the screen. Now you're like, oh, okay, now I know something's in the room with me. Give
Right.
you that first person type of horror feel. And it's funny because a lot of people were asking, were we part of a subpart of Resident Evil because of how it was coming
Mm-hmm.
off? And I'm like,
Right.
no, we're not. We ain't even a part of Resident Evil. We ain't a part of Capcom. We are our own indie studio. They're like, man, the way it's looking like you guys are a bigger studio than what you are. I'm like, no, the team just as great as what they're doing. I'm back there writing the stories and the concepts for it, and they're able to put the pen to the pad, put the modeling together, and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
when we were making it, we're like, well, how do we want it to be portrayed? Do we want it to be give you that horror feeling, like I can't go to
Mm-hmm.
sleep tonight? Or do we want it to be like, okay, every other zombie where it's like, okay, there's an endless amount of them? I'm like, no, forget that. I'm too creative. I'm like, we're gonna have different zombies that do different things to you,
Right.
just to
Right.
keep you guessing. Like one might spit at you, one might actually end up bum rushing you or throw something at you. One might fly and grab you and then drop you. You just don't know what you're up against until you get up close to it.
Mm-hmm. To keep you at suspense, keep you on your toes.
And that
So
was my take on it, my creative turn to it.
okay, so like, what about the weapons and stuff like that? Are you very limited on weapons? Do you have resources where you can get ammo, stuff like that?
Of course. So you'll be able to go into different buildings, go through different backpacks, different lock safes and combinations and all that. Keep in mind, we also
Mm-hmm.
got traps for those for you people that's like thinking about that. We
Mm-hmm.
we thought that through too. We're like, all right, if you're running low on ammo, you're gonna have to go crack a safe, go look in a
Right.
building for some backpacks, but you don't know what's in those buildings, so that's even more scarier. Because now you're like, well, I'm on the street with these other infected, or I'm in buildings and not knowing where these other infected are hiding, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So that
Mm-hmm.
suspense is constantly keeping you guessing. Like, man, I only got a clip left. What if such and such come out of nowhere? That's like for instance, our Burley infected. I think I showed you the big
Yeah, you
one that
did.
actually, yeah, that big one come at you. You like, I only got a clip left. What am I going to batter? I'm gonna
Yeah.
grind. I'm
Yeah, because like when I
So
seen it, I
that's
was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, man, this is gonna be like very anxious and kind of like unexpected. Depends on the type of zombies you intertwine with in the game. So when I seen it, I was just like, whoa, you feel me? That's
hmm
really like what surprised me. And then not only that, you're using I believe you're using a engine that y'all created, or like Unreal Engine, I believe it's
yeah,
Unreal
we were
Engine.
using Unreal for it. We were using Unreal for Hopeless Nights. We still plan on
Yeah.
using Unreal too. So that's going to be our main go for all our games.
Okay, okay. So Unreal Engine. So would y'all like transfer it to like Unreal Engine 5 because they're in early access right now, or y'all gonna stick with Unreal Engine 4 for the time being?
We're going to stick with 4 for right now, just until they get all bugs out, and we, because we don't. Last thing we want is something to crash. Especially being indie and you coming straight out the gate with the game, that could ruin your credibility right off the bat. Oh, your game's crashing, or your game don't work. Oh, this, and we're like, nah. We're gonna stick with Unreal Engine 4 for a while. Wait until 5 comes out.
Mhm.
See how people's games are doing. So we can get a better idea, seeing how it works, and then from there we're
Mhm.
gonna jump over Engine 5.
Okay, so let me go ahead and ask this question about this game, right? Because I'm still excited about this game to this
Mhm.
day. Uh, will it have single player campaign, multiplayer, and what consoles or PC would it be on?
Of course, we're gonna have a single player story mode, which I've already written. I think I stopped right at mission 45, right before 50.
Mhm.
Of course, we're gonna have multiplayer. We're gonna have a survival, so you can act go out with. We're gonna have a
You kind
section
of
of this
biting right now.
where you actually surviving. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now?
Am I good? Can you? Okay.
Yeah, you good now?
So we're gonna have a survival mode, so you can actually play with your friends co-op, and then of
Hmm.
course PvP you gotta have in there.
Always.
And we're looking at starting that off at PC and then dropping on console. Hopefully, is the game plan.
Okay. Uh, Let me know when that happens, man, because I'm ready to see some more of the gameplay. Y'all never know. Most likely be at E3. Y'all might see us interviewing uh Courtland and the team in the future. You never know. Possibilities is endless. So, with that being said about this game, let's talk about your next game. This arena shooter that you're.
Yes.
It seems like it's an arena shooter that you putting together right now that y'all currently working on. So talk to me behind the idea of this upcoming arena shooter.
So the Oracle, which is our arena sci-fi shooter, that game was a pivot from HCN because I was like, I need to make something smaller in order
Mm-hmm.
to actually produce a game to get our names out there.
Right.
And the Oracle takes place, of course, in the arena. Basically, what's happening is high-tech sci-fi weapons, materials, and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
are decreasing in the real world. So the government's trying to actually stop what we call the apocalypse of high tech weapon, high tech from getting sold by the people in the area. So they created the Oracle in order to keep your mind busy and not see what's happening around.
Mm-hmm.
So the Oracle is more of a gimmick people from seeing
Mm-hmm.
what's really happening outside.
Right. So the way I'm looking at it is going to be one of those type of games in particular where I can see tournaments happening within this game for sure. So
Oh, of
about this.
course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see it. I with this arena shooter and some of the aspects of what I've seen within this game, through Instagram. Link will be in the description below my ad for the studio's Instagram and all social medias. But from what I've seen with this game, it has that Gears of War feel to it, but creatively in its own way. You know, talk to me behind the animations and the gameplay aspect of this arena shooter, like in the sense of the movements, the engines, and stuff like that.
So the interesting part about this is every character that you play as are going to have their own abilities.
Right.
And right now we're looking at making it to where every character can almost counter, if not actually take out another character, depending on what you're
Hmm.
up against.
For
So,
sure.
say for instance, Inferno is, of course, our fire user in the game, and of course, she's going to use a lot of different tactics to either build a wall of fire around her, trap you in,
Mm-hmm.
shoot fireballs at you. She's just going to try to cause chaos and mayhem. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
interesting matchup would be Auntie, who's actually being modeled right now, because her ability is she can levitate.
Right.
So she's like, I don't care about your fireballs. I'm gonna just jump above you, shoot you in your face, and keep it pushing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So
Dope.
right. So some of the matchups is like, okay, can so and so take out so and so? And it's like, yeah, they can if they actually play their cards right. So you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
not only have to worry about who you're up against, but what's your strategic plan when you're against this person, especially
Yeah,
when
you,
you're
you
out there
kind
with
of
your team.
yeah, you was biting a little bit. Repeat what you had just said.
I say, yeah, especially when you're out there with your team.
Okay. Definitely feel that, man. Definitely feel that. So the question is though, like, is it multiplayer only? Do we have single player aspects of this game?
We're looking at making it multiplayer only at this point. If we can actually get enough money behind it, we might actually go ahead and give some backstories of different characters that are in the game. That's what we were
Mm,
discussing too.
like what a Kickstarter down the line or something like that?
We're looking at Kickstarter, if not the Epic Mega Grant, if Epic actually ends up choosing our game to actually give us the funds to get it knocked out and done. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
investors have been talking to me as of late too, which has been interesting because they're like, nobody's doing what you're doing. And it's like they get so excited, then the last minute they back out. So it's like, dude, really? Like you're seeing the work done and you're like so excited, then they're like, not right now. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
that's
that's I'm
fine.
sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's messed up, bro. That's messed up because like not only this arena game, but the other game that y'all working on, HZN, y'all, and this is from my personal view, like from everybody that's actually tuning in. For me, seeing these games right here, these two games right here has the potential to be high up in the rankings of some amazing titles in the future. And it's just my personal point of view from seeing these games, and it has me like really excited. So from your point of view, and this is always ask all these game devs this question. You feel me? It's kind of like a pitch to
Hmm.
the people that's viewing now and will watch this later. Why should individuals want to play your upcoming titles?
The reason I would say people want to play our upcoming titles is because we're looking to give not only players a chance to actually see what we're capable of, but a unique
Mm-hmm.
and creative twist to it. We want to hear feedback. And I think a lot of people shy away from that. I want to know exactly what you're thinking because I want to know what our fan base is thinking constantly. I need to know that we're doing something correct for you guys so you guys can
Right.
enjoy the game. I don't want to just make a game like there's a game, you guys play it, there it is. I want to wait and see, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, a year, two line to be
Mm-hmm.
like, so what do you guys think of this new character? Get us out there, get us going, let us know what you guys think instead of like most big studios, it's like we're gonna drop a game and that's it. And then the fan base, like millions of players, are like, well, this is what's wrong, and they're like, well, that's okay. You're still playing. I want to know exactly what's going on. I want to be very attentive, I would say, towards the creations me and my team create with our games.
Right. Hey, hey, you already won me over with that pitch. I'm excited for both of the games, to be honest with you, man. So, so where they can find you at, and where they can find the spirit, where they can follow everybody else at.
They can follow us on Twitter at Unfocused Entertainment Production Studios or at UEP Studios. They can find us, of
Mm-hmm.
course, on Facebook. Just type in the Oracle, or you could type in HZN because that page is still up. And they can find us again on Instagram.com/UEP Studios.
Hey man, sounds like a plan. And also, link will be in the description below for all their social medias, man. Go ahead and follow them, subscribe to everything that they're doing because they give everybody like updates on what's going on with the teams and the upcoming projects. And like I said, I'm excited about these upcoming projects that the team is working on. So make sure y'all go ahead and support what we're doing over here at the gamer section. And like I said, support the movement. But with that being said, Y'all gonna hear another interview from Courtland Tiger very soon. So y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for when we drop videos on the road to 1,000 subs. Support the movement. We out. Peace.